4 members of the Giddings family were injured when Cape Town's Planet Hollywood restaurant was bombed last August. Now the city's tourist board have invited the family back to continue their holiday.
Other families would have wanted to leave Cape Town behind after what happened, but not this one. If Tony Giddings looks preoccupied, it's hardly surprising. When the bomb went off, he lost a toe and the hearing in one ear. His wife Mandy had bad shrapnel wounds, and their daughter Laura, who's 8 and who loved ballet, lost a leg below the knee. 3-year-old Jacob has still got shrapnel lodged in his spine. When the bomb went off, killing 2 people and injuring 27, pictures of Tony being stretchered away were seen around the world. The Giddings had only been in Cape Town for 1 hour. The bombing has still not been explained or solved, but here at the top of Table Mountain, the family aren't thinking about that. They were invited back by tourist groups to enjoy the holiday they never had.
We decided back in August we would come back because we were having such a fantastic holiday and it really could have happened anywhere in the world. So we made that decision fairly early on.
Are you enjoying yourself?
Yeah.
You like being up here at the top of the mountain?
Sort of.
It's a bit scary, is it?
Yes.
It's wonderful to see such a strong recovery. Planet Hollywood is the one place the Giddings won't be going back to. The restaurant has now been rebuilt and reopened and is doing good business, but understandably returning here would have been too much for the family. All the same, their trip back to Cape Town is a strong message of support for South Africa and of defiance against terrorism. Jeremy Vine, BBC News, on the waterfront in Cape Town.
A 10th body has been exhumed by police in...
Great stress on one particular method, phonics. This is based on recognising the sounds of each letter and how they combine to form words.
I think it's extremely important, especially at the early stages of primary school, that children learn phonics as one method of learning how to read amongst others.
The inspectors say the literacy strategy is working, producing better teaching and results. But a minority of schools have not made much progress. Inspectors say that's because they're not using the phonics method. Many teachers believe other methods work better, or at least want the freedom to use their own combination of methods. The chief inspector isn't happy.
I think there is a failure to understand of what's involved, but there is a root ideological objection in some schools. I mean, we have still got, I think, teachers who have been trained to believe that phonics is the work of the devil, but the proof of the pudding is in the eating.
Getting reading right is vital politically, as the Prime Minister has put the government's reputation on the line with a commitment to get 80% of children to the required standard by age 11. Currently, only 65% manage that.
We know that phonics is crucial in the first years of schooling. We know that the National Literacy Strategy is helping teachers to become more confident and effective in teaching phonics. But we also know that if the strategy is to succeed, it is this aspect, school by school, which requires most work.
Nothing is more important than teaching children to read, but so far there's been no agreement on which is the best method. So the government is taking a high-risk strategy in stressing phonics and hoping that will work best for all teachers and all schools. Mike Baker, BBC News, Westminster.
A senior officer in the Woodland. The document was discovered in the archive of the German city of Lübeck. It was written by the rulers of the city after Wallace's victory over the English at Stirling Bridge. It's in Latin and encourages them to reopen trade routes through Scottish ports. The letter is the only authenticated object connected with Wallace. Until now, he's been left out of the Scotland Museum's exhibition.
A florist has admitted scavenging...
Have linked up the first 2 sections of the new International Space Station. They have joined Russia's Zayar module, which supplies power, onto an American spacecraft. The space station will cost £40 million and will take 5 years to build.
The day began with the space shuttle chasing the Russian Zayar spacecraft, which had been launched last month. Then, as it rendezvoused, the shuttle's robot arm on the right and speeded up, moved in to grab it.
Houston Endeavour, we have Zarya firmly attached to the orbiter. We're halfway home for the day.
The next job was to bring the Zaya down towards the American bit of the space station, which was sticking up out of the shuttle's payload bay. Astronaut Nancy Curry aligned the two spacecraft up. When all was ready, she fired the shuttle's jets to drive the two spacecraft together.
Houston Endeavour, we have capture of Zarya.
Weak copy. Congratulations to the crew of the good ship Endeavour. That's terrific.
But their rejoicings were premature. The two craft were not aligned properly. They tried again, using manual controls, and this time it worked. In Moscow, where the Russian space engineers were watching, there was great relief. Mission Control examined one part of Zaya where this green spooled antenna had failed to unroll last month, a minor problem. Tomorrow, 2 of the astronauts will do a spacewalk to attach power cables between the two craft. Today, the first 2 bits of the spacecraft have been joined together. Now, there's just 98 more bits to go. James Wilkinson, BBC News.
Tonight's main headline.